Hi everyone, welcome back to Paulina's Global Flavors. In this episode, I am dedicating it to my friends at Legacies of War, and I'm wearing their Lambong Circle t-shirt, which is a way of honoring the traditions of the Lao people. And I wanted to bring awareness to their incredible and profound work in Southeast Asia, particularly Laos, rooted in history of the American Secret War in Laos. And so check out their link right here. In this episode, I'm going to make one of my most favorite Lao dishes, Southern Lao dish in particular, and that is goi. And it is cooked in a way that preserves the crispiness of the meats. And so I have the ingredients behind me. I've got the broiler going on, and let's get cooking. Here is the spread of the ingredients that you'll need to make the Lao, Southern Lao goi. So I've got the basics. For many Southeast Asian cuisine, fish sauce. This is the brand that I use because it's not so pungent, but also it's the most popular brand. And of course, you'll always want salt unless you want extra dose of fish sauce. But I like salt just because it really gives it that little added savoriness that many dishes require. Chili pepper is a must, especially in Lao cuisine. Crushed chili peppers. Galangal powder, so different than ginger. Galangal is the name of this root, and it gives the dish a spicier kick. So this is one of the main ingredients for either Laap or Goi, and you don't want to miss out on this ingredient because this makes the dish. This is toasted sweet rice powder or burnt sweet rice powder, and it is basically sweet rice. And you toast it over a frying pan without any oil until it's golden brown or burnt, and then you ground it in a mortar and pestle and you get your rice powder. So this is an important ingredient in the Laap or the goi, and I'm making the goi. So I like dark meat, and I have 4 chicken thighs here with the skin on. It's deboned and the fat stripped away to some degree. I do like a little bit of fat in there because it keeps the meat moist, even though we're going for a drier texture but crispier texture. I almost forgot, MSG is must in Lao cuisine. The limes, we're going to squeeze lime in there. And then these are the traditional herbs. I have mint from the garden, chives from the garden, and then cilantro from the store. So we're now going to cook the chicken thighs in the oven in the broiler for, I would say maybe 20 to 30 minutes, and we're going to watch it so we don't burn it. So let's go ahead and get started. Now it's ready to go in the oven. I have it on broil on high, and we're going to keep it at the medium height, as you can see in the oven here, that it is medium height, because if you have it too high, it will burn quickly. So we will go ahead and put it in there, and we'll monitor after 10 minutes. All right, it's been 10 minutes. Let's see how this thing is doing. Ooh. Yeah, it's looking really good. So we're going to now turn the heat to low. The chicken has been in there on low for about 10 minutes. So we had 10 minutes on high broiler, and then we reduced it down to 10 minutes on low. And now I'm going to flip it and let it stay under the broiler for low for about 5 minutes. Ooh. You can see. So I'm letting all the heat out with the door open. So I'm going to flip. Make sure you wear gloves for safety. Five more minutes, and then we can take the chicken out, cut it up, and then start preparing our goi. I've taken the chicken out and let it sit for about 5 minutes because otherwise I'll burn my fingers because there's excess oil on there and it's still hot. So here are the ingredients again. I've added bean sprouts and the foot-long green beans, which I'm going to cut up into tiny little segments just for that extra crunch. And then we're going to add bean sprouts as well. So these two ingredients are actually going to go on last so that it's not heating up with the chicken goi mixture because this is still warm. And so I'm going to go ahead and move everything aside and cut up the chicken. Now you can use a food processor or you can use a knife, right? And regardless of whether you like it chunky or not so chunky or very, very minced, it's up to you. Some people like a bite to it. And I'm just cutting it into chunks so I can like whack it and make it more minced. But I'm just going to break it up a little bit here. Ooh, it's still warm. And this was unseasoned, so it went into the oven without salt or any seasoning because we want to put the original ingredients and the condiments in there. I mean, again, simply just the fish sauce, a little bit of salt, MSG, the toasted rice powder, the galangal powder, all those yummy exotic flavors coming together, the squeeze of lime. I mean, it just makes the dish. And this probably doesn't look like a whole lot. I mean, I can eat this by myself, but this can feed 2 people comfortably, but 3 people if you wanted to stretch it out. And that's why we have all the herbs and the foot-long green beans, just because, and then also the bean sprouts, because we're going to put it all together and make it into a bigger salad, a bigger goi. Oh, I'm so excited. So here I have it in big chunks. Now, obviously, you don't want it to be this big of a chunk. And I'm just going to whack it. And you can actually stick this in the food processor, but I just think it gets too minced. And so I like doing it the old-fashioned way. Just takes a little bit of time. Okay, we're almost done. I'm doing it the old-fashioned way, like how the Lao people would do it in Laos not so long ago. And you know, I've seen some chefs do it with both knives, so let's see how that works. Ow, my delicate wrist. This is too heavy. Well, I think it's done. It's done and it's ready to go into the bowl. I have my mixing bowl. We're just going to scoop all of this goodness up. There you have it. And of course, what would my cooking be if not for my beautiful rubber gloves? We're going to put in the galangal powder. Again, this is not ginger. I'm going to put about a teaspoon of galangal powder. I might put more. I love the spiciness of the galangal powder, the earthy notes that it brings. Here is the burnt rice powder. I'm going to put a very healthy teaspoon of this, and I might put more because we're going to taste along the way. We have probably half a teaspoon of MSG. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. And this is probably, an eighth of a teaspoon. And then, of course, the fish sauce. Again, this is the brand that I like. And this is going to be, I think, 2 teaspoons of fish sauce. And we might add more, of course. And then we're going to do lime juice. Now, some people put the ingredients in a certain order, but I'm just going to put it in all at once, just simply because that's what I want to do. And you can do whatever you want to do because, you know, it's all going to come together and you're going to enjoy it. So it's going to be okay. Oh, I can smell the burnt rice powder, the galangal, and also the lime. Oh, it just smells so good. But also the caramelization of the chicken thigh skin. Gosh, it just sends me. I just am so hungry. This is probably a good 2 teaspoons of lime juice. And I know I'm going to add more because I love the flavor of the lime essence, the lime juice, the oils that it carries, and it just brings out this type of dish. So now we're going to put in about 3 teaspoons of lime juice. Ooh, very nice. So you're going to mix with your hand or a spatula or a spoon. And I like mixing with my hand for this dish because I want to massage it in there. So it's not just mixing and swirling around. You're going to massage it in there into the meat. So as you're mixing, you're going to stir and then squeeze. Stir and then squeeze. Oh my gosh, it smells wonderful. And notice I didn't put in the crushed chili peppers because I'm going to do that last. It's really a garnish more than anything. I don't know if you can hear it, but it is soggy. It sounds soggy, and that's perfectly fine. It's just not drenching in sauce like Laap is. It's a little bit more drier. Okay, I think that's good. I'm going to do a taste test. Oh gosh. Okay. I'm going to add, because I love the toastiness of the rice powder, I'm going to add about another teaspoon. That goes in. No, you know what? I'm going to add another teaspoon. Just mix it in there. Oh my goodness. And the burnt rice powder. Ooh, be careful. It's so fine in powder that it'll climb up your nose. Ooh, I'm going to sneeze. Maybe not. Okay. And I love, again, the galangal, the kick, the spicy kick. So I'm actually going to add 1 more teaspoon. And that should be good. Oh my gosh. Ooh. But also the fine powder ooh, of the galangal will also, ooh, the lingering powder will start crawling up your nostrils. Oh, okay, that should be good. Yummy. All right, so let's put that aside. Here's the cilantro. And you'll want to cut this up not so chunky. And again, everything is up to you. But you don't want to be biting into the goi and tasting just cilantro. You want a combination of all the ingredients coming together. And you know, if you like cilantro, add more, or this portion, which is about I would say half a cup. But if you were to push it down, maybe a 1/4 cup. There's that. And by this time, the chicken has already decreased in its warm temperature. And my mint from my garden, my mint leaves. And then we're also going to cut up some of my garden chives. And you can cut it up as wide, or not wide, but as big chunks or little chunks. It's up to you. Okay, you can do more or less. Goes in there. We're gonna add our bean sprouts last, just because bean sprouts are a little bit delicate, especially when it gets when it hits heat. And then these are our foot-long green beans. Now you can cut them in this portion and eat it as an accompaniment to the goi, or you can cut it up into little fine pieces and mix it in just for that added crunch. And I like the latter. I like cutting it up like this and mixing it in because I love the nuttiness of these foot-long green beans. Now, I would not recommend using the traditional beans that you would see at the regular grocery stores. That has a, I'm not sure how to explain it other than you can taste a little bit of the tartness in those beans, even though that sounds weird because it's not like technically sour, but you can taste it. It's very juicy in a way, and this is a little bit more dry, and it just has this organic, nutty flavor that just complements a salad like Laap or Goi. And again, you can put in as much or as little as you want. And you know, if you can't find these long green beans at the Asian grocery store or the other ethnic food grocery stores, you don't have to put it in there. This is completely optional. But if you want the nutty taste, I would go for the bean sprouts. And if you can't find bean sprouts, that's okay as well. The bean sprouts are optional. And so are the mint leaves. But again, it just all depends on what herbs you like. And then we're going to mix again, and this time you're not going to mix and squeeze. You're just going to toss it lightly with your hands, very delicately like this, just to incorporate all of the herbs in there without bruising the herbs. And that's why we're putting the bean sprouts in last, because we certainly don't want to bruise the bean sprouts and have limp limp bean sprouts. So there goes the bean sprouts. And again, lightly toss. Oh my goodness, this just smells so heavenly. And it's basically done. Okay. Look at that. Now let's plate it. Ta-da! My Southern Lao Goi is ready to eat. I'm actually going to sample this. Mm. Mm. Mm, 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 mm.